Week number 4 is in the books, and it was very interesting with a bunch of major injuries that we're going to get to in this video. But my name is Tyler Davis. I'm going to bring you guys the best waiver wire pickups here for week number 5 that you need to add to your squad. We're going to talk about running backs, quarterbacks, receivers, and tight ends. Let's jump right into it here. We're going to start with this Monday Night Football game between the Jets and the Dolphins. Major injury implications here. Tyreek Hill looks like he is done for the season and maybe done for next season. His career definitely in jeopardy. 31 years old for Tyreek Hill. He's still explosive. He really started the game off well, but a total knee reconstruction it looks like he's going to have done. So what does this mean for fantasy football purposes? Well, obviously, of course, Jalen Waddle becomes the alpha, the number one receiver. Obviously, Jalen Waddle, you can't grab on the waivers. He's rostered in pretty much 100% of leagues. But if you want to make a trade for him, I think it's definitely worth a consideration. He's going to get more of that Tyreek Hill role. Now, the Dolphins haven't looked great. Their offense has been kind of mid. Mike McDaniel could get fired here. I think this win saved him a few more weeks. But Jalen Waddle obviously becomes the alpha, becomes the number one receiver there in Miami. So maybe make a trade for Jalen Waddle in this situation. But the two guys we want to touch on here, first of all, Darren Waller. I know only 3 catches for 27 yards, but 2 touchdowns. And Darren Waller, people were unsure of him. I drafted him a bunch in best ball in the offseason. I thought what they did with Jonnu Smith last year made him, Jonnu Smith, was super effective for the Dolphins last year. And I've always thought Darren Waller was a little bit of a better player than Jonnu Smith in their careers. I know he's coming off of retirement. He's a little bit older, but I thought Darren Waller could still be productive. And we saw that here with the 2 touchdowns. Obviously, he's a big red zone threat. And I think you take out Tyreek Hill from that equation, you're going to have to, involve Darren Waller in the offense much more, even on some underneath A-dot stuff, some, low A-dot type stuff there for the Dolphins. Also, Malik Washington here. 2 catches, 13 yards, but he should play a bunch of snaps for the Dolphins now, basically operating as that number 2 receiver out there besides Waddle. Do want to take a look at some of my cheat sheet type of target share, see what we had here. Let's see, Malik Washington, 18% target share, 3 targets there. When Tyreek Hill, is gone now, it can be a big one. And then you saw Darren Waller, 4 targets there. Darren Waller's A-dot was pretty good too at 12.3. Washington at 2 A-dots, maybe get more of the underneath stuff. Malik Washington did operate in the slot 44% of the time there. Nick Westbrook-Akine will get some snaps as well, but he doesn't really excite me. We've seen what he has in the past with the Titans. So obviously this is going to become the Devin Achane and Jalen Waddle show. It already was pretty much. But yeah, I think Malik Washington and Darren Waller are definitely worth considering on the waiver wire. Waller would be one of my top tight end waiver wire ads for the week for sure. Let's go over to maybe the number 1 waiver wire ad of the week, Woody Marks here on the Houston Texans. What an explosion game for Woody Marks. We know we have a Nick Chubb. He's a first and second down back. He's a goal line red zone type back. Coming off major injuries, a little bit older in his career. We don't know the status of Joe Mixon. Seems like Joe Mixon might be out for the entire year now. There's no update on that. Dare Ogunlewale, he didn't even get any snaps on offense in this game. They kind of just converted him now to special teams. So this, to me, is the Woody Marks show. And 17 carries, 69 yards, and a touchdown, a 4.1 average. You love to see that. Also, 4 catches, 50 yards, and a touchdown. That is what is massive for fantasy football. Woody Marks, if you can get a running back on the waiver wire that can catch the ball in the backfield, he's playing on third downs, gets that volume, gets that opportunity. That's exactly what we want here. If we take a look at some of the behind-the-scenes numbers here, let's take a look at what we got. Let's go to Houston. Woody Marks, 35% target share in this game. Just absolutely insane. 5 targets on 14 routes. You love to see that. Converted 4 out of the 5 targets into catches, which is great. 50 yards, too, which is a huge yard after catch there. 43 yak yards. Obviously, low A-dot, but that's fine as a running back. We want that to be safe and get these PPR receptions. So Woody Marks, I think, is probably the number 1 running back ad of the week, in my opinion. Let's go over to the Giants game. We have another major receiver injury implication here. Malik Neighbors tears his ACL, out for the season, and it's a huge blow because Jackson Dart came in. He was playing phenomenal, and Jackson Dart on the ground is phenomenal, and we're going to get to him in a second. But him and Malik Neighbors could have been a massive combination this year, a massive duo to have big games. So that hurts. So who does this open up more? It's going to be between, I got 3 guys I want to talk about here. Darius Slayton, Theo Johnson, Wan'Dale Robinson. My first lean here is Theo Johnson. Jackson Dart needs a reliable source out of that tight end spot in the slot position. Let's take a look at some of the behind-the-scenes numbers here. Let's take a look at Theo Johnson. 26% targets per route run in this game, which you love to see. 5 targets, 3 receptions on those. I think he's the best ad, the safest ad for the Giants here on the waiver wire. Especially if you need a tight end. If you don't have one of these top tight ends, Bowers, McBride, Jake Ferguson at this point, you need to kind of have a streamer every week for tight end. I think Theo Johnson is a great ad going forward here with Jackson Dart at quarterback, who's going to be much more productive than Russell Wilson. Now, the schedule for the Giants these upcoming games is tough. I know they have the Saints coming up, which is a great spot. But then after that, I think they have the Eagles twice. They have a couple tough matchups, and then maybe the Broncos, I think. So there's a lot of tough matchups there for Jackson Dart and Theo Johnson. But right here against the Saints is a nice spot. We can take advantage of that. Then you got Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slayton. I'm not sure what to make of this yet. I just wanted to put both of them on my consideration list. Obviously, Darius Slayton is our big deep threat over the top, where you can get massive upside games. But he's been so inconsistent throughout his career. 1 week, you get 6 catches for 100 yards and a touchdown, big play over the top. Then you get no catches for no yards the next week, right? He's just so up and down in his career. The high A dot shows you that there, 16.5. So you never know what you're going to get from him. He can have some big upside spike weeks, but a lot of weeks he's very inconsistent. I think Wan'Dale Robinson is more the consistent piece. Low A dot, underneath slot, routes can beat man coverage, things of that nature. But you're not going to get those high spike upside weeks from Wan'Dale Robinson. It's just not really in his range of outcomes. Maybe he can get you like 7 catches for 50 yards, right? Can he get in the end zone? That's the big thing. If he can get in the end zone, he's in business, and we're paying off that, price tag or off that, ad. But we're not expecting that too much from Wan'Dale Robinson as kind of a low A-dot slot receiver. So it's a tough decision for me here. I think I'm just avoiding the Giants receivers for another week to see what we have going forward. But I do think Theo Johnson is a great ad for us. This is a quick timeout to let you guys know that I've been a pro DFS player for over 5 years and have over $100,000 in career winnings. And now I'm giving away all my secrets, which you can check out at patreon.com/tdavisbrand. The link is also in the description below. It's going to give you a cheat sheet for every major slate of the NFL season. So Thursday Night Football, Sunday main slate, Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, all the major slates, whether it be Showdown or the regular classic slates, you'll have access to my cheat sheet, as well as access to my private Discord where you can ask me anything fantasy football related. And I also have a NFL DFS ebook, How to Win at Daily Fantasy Football. It goes over every strategy you would want to win some cold hard cash this upcoming NFL season. We talk about things like bankroll management, contest selection, how to win GPPs, cash games, etc. So sign up for the free ebook down in the link in the description below. Then we go to the Rams here. At running back, it's been more of the Blake Corum show, right? It's been Kyren Williams for so many years now, and Kyren Williams is still the bell cow. He's still the guy that's going to catch the ball in the backfield at a high clip, third downs. But Blake Corum becomes really interesting here. They want to give more of a workload to this guy. Only, 9 for 21, so the box score doesn't excite you too much. But he did have 2 receptions there, negative yards, but 2 receptions is 2 receptions for a running back. I want to take a look at his target share as well, see what we had for Kyren Williams. For Blake Corum here. So 4 targets. You love to see 4 targets out of the backfield for a running back. Now, like I said, it's still the Kyren Williams show, but I think Blake Corum has some appeal, some interesting upside here, especially if Kyren Williams were to get hurt. We know this guy gets a bunch of carries. Kyren Williams has been productive. He's a little bit older now. He's getting banged up. So if Kyren Williams gets banged up or anything happens to him, Blake Corum would be an immediate fantasy upside start, at the running back position. So I think he's worth considering on the waivers for sure. We talked about the Texans-Titans. I did want to mention our guy, Elic Manor here. Basically is the new alpha with the Titans, right? You still got Calvin Ridley there, but Manor, 2 catches, 44 yards. This is a tough offense to love and to trust right now. But you got to love what you're seeing with Manor here. He's playing a bunch of snaps out wide at that receiver position. He's primarily the outside receiver here for the Titans. Calvin Ridley plays a little bit more in the slot, but Manor playing 93% of his snaps out wide as that alpha receiver out there. 5 targets, so 18%, targets per route run. You love to see that there. High A-dot, 16.8, so you know that the upside is there for a big play down the field if Cam Ward can figure it out and get it to him. So I think he's a priority ad here. Listen, like I said, the offense is tough to trust. It's not you don't love what you're seeing right now from this rookie quarterback Titans offense. They switch play calling duties. Brian Callahan gave it to the offensive coordinator, so it's a little bit of a mess. But the usage is there for Manor, which you can't always find from you can't always find a number 1 receiver on the waiver wire, even if it's in a bad offense. So I think he's worth consideration there for sure. Go to the Steelers here. We saw a late scratch of Jaylen Warren. In one of my fantasy leagues, I immediately picked up I have Jaylen Warren, and I had no other running back, so I immediately picked up Kenneth Gainwell. I dropped Tyrone Tracy on the Giants, picked up Kenneth Gainwell, and boy, did he pay off my decision. 19 carries, 99 yards, and 2 touchdowns, 6 catches through the air. This guy, I mean, I didn't expect him to be able to do this on the ground, especially against the Vikings. I knew he had the pass game capabilities, right? But I didn't expect him to have a 5.2 average on the ground, 2 touchdowns rushing. I did not expect this output from Kenneth Gainwell on the ground. I did not know he had this in him. I knew he could catch the ball in the backfield. I knew he could be productive in the pass game, but I didn't know as a pure runner he would be this effective. But 6 targets, which you love to see. We know Gainwell can do that. 6 catches, 35 yards, and he had those 2 touchdowns on the ground with close to 100 yards rushing. So we don't know the injury status right now of Jaylen Warren, but I think even going forward with Jaylen Warren healthy, how do you not play Kenneth Gainwell if you're the Steelers? You have to play this guy. A little bit of a committee there, but if Kenneth Gainwell is on your waiver wire, which he should be for the most part, some people didn't pick him up for the start, pick up Kenneth Gainwell because he's going to get, he was already playing even with Warren in there. I think they're just going to give him more carries, more looks here. And then finally, Brenton Strange, he has been phenomenal for the Jaguars. If he is still on your waiver wire, which this is probably the last week he'll be available, you got to go pick this guy up. He looks like, the number 2 target, for that Jacksonville Jaguars offense, coming off a big win on the road here against the Niners. Massive win for Liam Cohen, for Trevor Lawrence, and the Jaguars team. Brenton Strange, 6 catches, 45 yards. He's a little bit low ADOT, which is fine. It's okay. We want that. We want the volume, and we want the safety in our tight end positions here. And that's what we're getting in this Jacksonville Jaguars offense with Brenton Strange. Let's go to check out the underlying statistics here, see what we have. Brenton Strange, 7 targets, 26% target per route run. You love to see that. 45 yards, like we mentioned, 26 routes, so he's out there a bunch. He's pretty much out there on almost every snap when they're in 3 receiver personnel, or 3 receiver, 1 tight end personnel. Low ADOT, like we said, but that's okay. We want that safety. We want that volume, and we're getting that right now from Brenton Strange. He is a priority at the tight end position. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please go ahead and give this video a like. I appreciate it so much, as well as subscribe to the channel here on YouTube so you can check out all the videos that I have to offer.